Welcome back. As all of you are aware, there are many layoffs. This week, I want to share some tips on how to cope with layoff from a stock analyst perspective. You can't control external factors. The famous value investor Howard Marks pointed out the financial market is a pendulum, and it always overswings in both directions before arriving at a equilibrium. For a lot of you, for the first time in your life, you witnessed the extreme up in the financial market during the last few years. And of course, eventually it all came crashing down. And now you're witnessing the extreme down cycle. That's just how markets work, whether it's the financial market or the labor market. Jay Powell decides whether the printer is on or off. Companies go through greed and fear. They blitz scale when the capital is cheap, and then change the narrative from growth at all costs to reaching profitability ASAP. There's also just a lot of hurting going on. Oh, you guys cut 5% of your workforce. We should do it too, as long as we weren't the first one to do it, right? Hopefully, less bad publicity for us. But with all that said, you are responsible for making things happen for yourself. That means you cannot just give up by solely blaming the external factors. Your career is not over if you cannot land an elite job out of college. Career is becoming more and more non-linear as time goes by, and that is very much embraced by the younger generation. I know people who got their offers rescinded by investment banks during 08-09. And I know Harvard Business School people who worked at Enron during 2000. Those folks thought their career and life were over and had to take a dramatic downgrade and settle for a corporate role or a lesser bank or a consultancy. A lot of those people conceded they would have left those brand name firms after intense work experience for 2-3 years anyways, just to end up at the job they currently have. Many found tremendous success in their own field because they discovered their true passion instead of just blindly following their classmates on the same path. And they work hard toward their passion instead of slaving for a bank or a consultancy and wondering about their next bonus, which is nowhere near proportionate to their contribution at work, especially early on as a junior. For younger candidates, if you felt you missed the boat in a once-in-10-year downturn, and believe me, you will have many more in your career because boom and bust is just human nature. You can always use an MBA to reset. MBA is a whole giant discussion that I have plenty to say as I watch so many of my peers pursue MBA for the wrong reason and receive very poor ROI. But at least the option is there for you if you want to pursue investment banking or management consulting. Hopefully not just for the sake of saying you have once worked for Goldman Sachs or McKinsey. Part of it is it just does. Part of it is your internal adjustment to reality. And it really is not as bad as you think to lose a job. And you only need one job. You can only do one job anyway. As long as you stay persistent and focus on the role you target, someone eventually will give you a chance. I can speak from experience many times in my life. This is your lowest point in life. And I'm saying it's a good thing because now you're more prepared for future setbacks in life, which inevitably it will happen. Life is just never a straight line up, no matter what family background you came from. I touch on the point of taking control of making things happen for yourself. One of them is to make yourself more valuable as a laborer. Now you're unemployed. You have a choice of watching Netflix and playing video games, or growing as an individual. I obviously suggest you go with the latter. One way to keep growing is to continue following news of your sector. Employers want someone who's up to date on what's going on in industry and who can think strategically as an employee. By keeping up with industry trends and big events, you better prepare to give thoughtful answers and ask better questions during interviews. In a world where AI is becoming more real of a threat than ever, long-term strategic thinking can differentiate. What issues remain to be solved? Which company in your industry is winning and losing market shares, and why? These are the strategic thoughts you need to have in mind going into an interview. Look at the job description of your next job. What are the trending skills required? Is it SQL, BI, or Python? There is a big-time YouTuber for everything you want to learn today. Pick up a skill or two to make yourself stand out against the pack. You have all the time now to learn the skill that you might have to learn on the job anyways. You might as well do it now. It will make you a more competitive candidate and increase your bargaining power when you talk numbers with your next employer. And read. You can check out my sector reading list in the video description below. Get smart on your industry's history and the present. You never know what part of that knowledge can come in handy in your career. You should have been networking anyways in your prior job, but I understand not every profession is so big on networking. Networking has many benefits for you. It strengthens your communication skills, which are core to any profession, especially in a client-facing capacity or if you aspire to be a corporate executive. A good networker also has stronger career mobility than one who does not, especially for high-profile roles, highly unlikely filled through the company career portal or through recruiters. Every new connection can improve your chance of getting your next job lead. The other purpose of networking is getting intel. Yes, there are apps like Glassdoor or Fishbowl app, but I found just a few disgruntled employees can make every company look like a terrible place to work. By networking, you develop primary contacts who can really tell you what it's like to work at XYZ firm, so you can make a more informed decision. When your revenue drops dramatically, you obviously need to cut operating expenses to remain viable and not burn your cash on your personal balance sheet. That's just finance, but it's also life. It's time to cut some discretionary expenses to get through the downturn, which is why companies laid off people in the first place, I hope. Back in the days, you have to drink a latte and eat a avocado toast from that fancy artisan coffee shop on your block. No, you don't anymore. Do you love to order meal delivery? At the very least, go pick the food up yourself instead of having to pay for some bullshit regulatory response fee. Hopefully, the byproduct is it also instills good financial discipline in you in the long run. This depends on your skill. Get on a freelance platform to see if you can sell your expertise in exchange for some cash flow. The internet and many SaaS applications have dramatically reduced the barrier to start your own side hustle or even running a real business. If there is something you want to share that just even one person can benefit from, start a business. The goal should not be to make money at first, but to do something. It is going to be a transformative experience no matter what the outcome of the business is. As someone who deals with uncertainty for the bulk of my professional life, I actually guarantee in this case, aka for certain, that you will emerge as a better working professional and a person by trying to build a side hustle. It is also just a good way to take your mind off being jobless. It's one of those asymmetric risk-reward endeavors. If you fail as a side hustle builder, you don't lose much because an internet-based business does not require much upfront capital. If your side hustle takes off, you can continue to seek a day job for stability while being the 100% owner of something that can grow in value. I do want to remind you, business success is far from guaranteed, as I have discussed in my prior video on quiet quitting. Quoting my hero YouTuber Ali, the media likes to portray success as an event, when in reality it's a process. That's something for you to keep in mind. Yes, once you succeeded, you could work 3 hours per week and make $100,000 a month. But to get there, first you have to work really hard than you have ever worked in your day job. Second, your business actually needs to succeed. Like building a side hustle, finding a job takes time as well. The labor market has very high search costs for both you and the company. It's just like dating. Assessing compatibility takes time. Trust takes time. If you give job leads through referral, your referrer needs to vet you long enough to have confidence because he or she is taking a reputational risk. To quote the real GOAT, Warren Buffett, you can't make a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. So stay persistent, but beware things don't happen overnight. During this dark time, I understand you will be anxious to get back to work and feel you're not making progress. That's not true at all. If you are taking my advice, you are growing as an individual by learning more things and making more connections. Remember to celebrate these incremental progress because the truth is you are progressing. It's just no one gets excited about slow and steady growth. All the small and steady growth will drive that big spike in progress, which is when you land a new job offer. So keep on. If you have been laid off, I'm sorry that happened to you. I hope this is helpful and I wish you good luck. You will be fine. Things always work out. What tips help you get through unemployment? Please leave them in the comment section. I'm always looking to expand my own toolkit and share it with my audience. If you found this helpful, please click like, subscribe, and the bell icon for future content. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next week. Peace.